Okay, we are live. Hello everyone, I'm Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Skill Horizon YouTube channel. So we have one more session on ServiceNow, and for the same, I have Kunal with me. So welcome Kunal on the channel.
Thanks, Sanjay.
So probably this is the last session for this development bootcamp, and five sessions are already done. And Kunal already shared all the necessary things that you need to learn about ServiceNow if you are doing development. And in today's session, he will be sharing few more like features. Those are very important as per the ServiceNow development aspect. And if you are going to clear any certification which is related to, I think there is only one certification for development, right? Or we
Not
have.
just when we start with admin and then you go to application development and then you go for similar to Salesforce. Once you are a developer, then you start doing clouds. So then
Okay.
you start doing it for modules. Yeah.
Okay, but for development, it is only one because in
Just, yeah.
Salesforce, we have
Yeah.
two,
It,
PD1 and PD2. So,
no, it's just for this. It's certified application developer.
okay. Okay, so yeah, so one information I want to share with you, like if you want to join the detailed curriculum and you want to upskill yourself so that you can become ServiceNow job ready, so we will be launching soon our online and offline training programs. So you can be part of that. You can visit skillhorizon.org.in where you can find all the details. Okay, so I think now we can start with the session. So over to you, Kunal.
Good. So the last session, we kept the most important thing in SaaS. In any platform, be it be Salesforce service, now one of the most important tasks is importing data inside the platform. In Salesforce, I'm not wrong. It is a specialty in itself. People who are dedicated whole career just to make sure that data can be imported easily. Now, similar in ServiceNow, ServiceNow has is essentially at the end of day RDBMS, and the most important thing in that is data. And how does ServiceNow import data from third-party system? It goes through three stages. You import the data and you put it in a staging table. Staging table being a technical term is that you put in a data in a temporary table and then you transmute or transform the data and then it is entered into a target table. So for example, if you want to create an incident or any user or create an CMDB record, what you will do is you'll create a new import set table and then put a transform map on it. Now, transform map will come to practicality of it, but yeah, you can actually write scripts on it. You could decide which field is a primary key, where do you coalesce on it, and what field values are compared to which target table. And once that is done, what will happen any moment you put in a value in import set table, it will automatically create a new record in the target table. Now, one of the most important question that comes out of it is that why are we not creating a record directly in the target table? And there are several reasons for it. One, the transform map mechanism allows you to transmute or transform data. For example, you could have emails or phone numbers and you want to normalize the data. For example, maybe the third party system that you're getting the data from does not put hyphens in your phone number, but your system expects it. So you could write a script, get the source phone number, and then transmute, transform, and run a script on it and make it as you expect in the target table. And that is easily transform into the target record without making so many mistakes. Secondly, especially in ServiceNow, there's something called CMDB, and which is a database of every asset that you can have. And it is extremely important that you do not duplicate the data. And in that case, what you could do is that in the transform map, you would just look up the data. If a similar or exactly same record exists, you could ask the transform map to update that record in place of creating a new one. But if you were inserting that data directly into target table, that is not something you could be handling easily. So what we will do is now we will create a new import set table, create a transform map on it, and see how data is entered into the target table. We will continue with our application that we had created for this bootcamp. And the application was Staff Lead Innovation Request. And let's see what tables do we have available for that. So what we had was that we had project proposal, which could convert into projects, and proposal tasks, which are related to project proposal. So what I want to do is that I want to import multiple project proposal from third-party data. And for that, I will create a import set table. Import set table is essentially a simple table, but it is extended from import set super table. So let's see, uh, proposal import set table, and we will extend it from import set true. We will create a module for this, and we will add it to our project. Is it project proposal? Yeah. So we will add it to this. And let's see what other fields that we want to import on project proposal. For example, we have a short description that we can use, and we can use proposal system. We will use these two too. Uh, we can add as many fields as we want, but for this demo, we would just create these two fields. So we will create a short description. Let's make it a string type, and let's put in max length to 500. And then what is the name? Proposal system. And just system, again string. And since it is a choice list, we can keep it as 100. One thing is that you can always use previously existing rules. This is not something we have covered, but yeah, kind of important. Okay, I think that is it. We will create this table. We'll save it. And the table is now created. Let's go and look at the list. So there is no record on it. But what you would see is that there are related links on it. And one of them being transform map. Now we'll go in and create a transform map for this. Transform maps, new, and project proposal in site transform map. And we already have the source table, and we want to select the target table. This is the target table. I think that's it. Let's save this. This will expand our UI. And now we have field mappings here. Now, one good thing about ServiceNow is that it gives an option to auto map matching fields. Let us see if it can match at least one of the two. Well, it did both, right? So it automatically decided that short description should be short description and proposal system should be proposal system, which is good. So let's see one more. For example, state. I want to make the default value to be pending, right? So what is name? Again, name is state and the pending is -5. So I now want to create a field mapping, but I want it to be a static value. So what we will do is that since we will not be using any source, we would be using a script for this. And the target would be state. And I want to return -5. Good, that makes. Okay, so this transfer map now has 3-field mapping: prop to prop, short description to short description, and the state will be a script, and that will always return -5. So let's go and create a new record on this table. First, let's see how many project proposal do we have. Right. So we have 6 record on this table. And now what I expect is that once I create record on this table, they should be 7. So let's create a new record here. Short description. This was created from visit. And let's save. And let's go and refresh this page, refresh list. And now we have 7. And the last one that was created. One good thing is that you can actually add created here. Where is created? Okay. Add, okay. And right click, sort Z to A. So this was one that was created just now. And you open it up. This was the short description that we set. And this was the proportional system that we set. And state was set to pending. So we now know if we were to create a record here, it will automatically convert a record here. Now, right, so let's go back to transfer maps. Now, if you remember what we said, that if we do not want that, we don't want duplicate records, right? So if I were to say short description to be a cols field, that means if the system finds another record which has same short description, it will not create a new record. I'll save this and we will go back and try to create a new record. We'll copy the short description from here, create a new record, and let's change this to something else. What is the second value? Warp drive. So if you want to see what are the options available for this dropdown, you can just double click on the label and it will give you all the choices that you have. We want to put that here, right? And we will submit this. Ideally, you would have expected, like I should have showed it better. But what happened was that it did not create a new record, but it went in and updated the value for our perpetual system. Now, if I were to go and open the list view, it is still 7. But the last one was created 7 minutes ago and updated just now. So we have now covered how data can be imported using a single row entry. Similar to this, we can also it was low data, right? You can upload data using files. It can be an Excel file, it can be a CSV file if you have that. Or you can also have data sources which are scripted way of getting data from a third-party server. We're not going in that detail because that will take itself will take more than an hour. But yeah, You just don't have one option where you create a new record in the import set. You can also use directly importing huge files, maybe a gigabyte or anything, and ServiceNow will take care of importing those data into the target table. Cool. So now we have covered data import using transform maps. What else? Now, similar to inserting data one row at a time, what you could do is we can actually make a REST API call, and whatever data we gather, we could script and enter all those data in import set table. And we'll do that now. For that, what we will do is we will create a new REST message definition. So whenever you're trying to make an API call from ServiceNow, it is called REST message. And whenever you're trying to allow people to access ServiceNow, it is called scripted REST API points. We'll come that after this, but let's quickly make a REST message. We already have it. So what we will do is we will create a new REST message. And okay, before we go forward, for this demo, I've created a small Flask script which returns 10 records for 10 random values for these records. And I'll show you how that works. So if I were to call this URL, every time I will get 10 records from it. Okay. Every time different values. And we will copy this now. All right, so we will get proposals. And the endpoint that we need to hit is this. For now, I have not enabled authentication, but you can use basic authentication, that is combination of username and password, or you could use OAuth 2.0, but we will not be covering that today. So we will save this. Once we save, it will give us more details. So now REST message is a parent, and you can actually use same to hit multiple methods. For example, get, post, patch, delete. For now, we are only interested in get. So we will do that. Okay. And so I will now try to test this, right? So I'll click on test. And it shows that it got all these values. Cool. That makes sense, right? Now, let's use a script to quickly automate this. Close this so we have better visibility. So now what we are using is a ServiceNow class REST message, and we are initiating a new a class which will try and call this REST message and the method. So these value we copied from here. This is the name of the REST message, and the name of the method is default get. Okay, and then we'll say variable response to the REST message dot execute. And we will log the response now. Let's see what we get. And we get granted. Okay. Okay, so we did get an object as a response. Good. So now we will get variable body response dot get body and body sorry variable data is equal to Let's see what is we get in the body first, and then we go to. Right, what we get is straight up JSON string. So we will convert that into JSON.parse body, right? And if we have data, now, if you remember what we did was that whenever we wanted to create a new record in project proposal using this, what we did was let me refresh. Yeah, we created a new record in this table. Now, what we will do is that we will write a script that will create records on this table. So we'll copy this table name. And what we'll do is variable import set record equals new glide record that we use to create new instance of glide record, and we will why am I not getting initialize it? That's it. And import set dot short description equals to, oh, we need to run a loop on this, right? So data dot for each row. Oh, sorry. Row dot short description and put set dot what was the second one? Professional system. We will use slash command T, and that shows us technical names, and that is prop system. Prop system is equal to row dot, and we get this. Okay, did not realize that we are getting this one, so we have to use this. And import circulars insert. So for each row that we get, we will be creating a new record in import set table, and we expect that it will automatically transform the data and create 10 new records in project proposal. For now, we have 7, and let us see what many have once we run the script. So whenever you use a background script, it will actually give you the details as to what was done. So it inserted 10 records in this import set table. It inserted 10 records in import set run, which means once you insert record in this import set starts to run, and that import set created 10 records in our target table. So let's refresh this list. And now we have 17. And since we have marked this set to A, the top 10s were created using our REST API call. And this is one of the easiest way to integrate with an external system. Obviously, you would need authentication in most system. Never ever would you get a system where you can actually get data from without authentication. But we are skipping that part since we are just in a bootcamp. I think this is covered, and we have created a REST message to connect with the external system, get data. Then we used transform map and import set tables to transform our data and create records in our target table. Now, next, we would create a scripted REST API point. And how will we go about? Let's go there. Right, so we don't need this. We'll close this, and we will now create and scripted REST APIs. Okay, so we will create a project API. Okay, project API. We will not do that. We will, let's see if we have option of making it public. Not right. Which is that we need to use. We probably need to create a new one for this. Let's see if we can find some, if one that I'd created earlier. Yeah, just let's use authenticated users. Then we will create this, save. So what this means is that spelling is wrong. So I'm assuming this is something that I created. Yeah. Okay, so only and only you're allowed when you're logged in. Good. Now we will try and hit this endpoint now. So we go into Bruno. It is a very similar to a Postman. Let's see if we can hit this SMRest API and points. And we will copy the instance name first, and then API path. Okay, that's it. Project API. Let's see what we get from it. Required to provide auth information, which means we need to provide at least one authentication. Now, since I want to show my username or password on the screen, I'll create a new user now. I'll say Bruno user, and we'll save it right now. And on this site, we will use basic auth, and the username is Bruno underscore user, and we will set a password. We'll generate it, copy it, save it, and close this. We will remove password need reset since this is an integration user, and we will save this record, copy the password here, and now make a call. Okay, so we are not getting 403. What we're getting is 400. Since we have not defined any resource, which means we have set up an endpoint, but we have not defined what API call will return once someone's called it. So we will create a new one. We will call it, just call it random, which means this will become random, and we will return response.setBody. I'm here. And now that we have set a resource, we will use /random here and make a call. Cannot convert script table, which means we need to set a body. So again, to script table object. Okay, I was not expecting that. Let's come back to it. Response set status is 200. That means this should be good. And variable rest is equal to message I am good. And we will set that as good. that should work, I hope. And yes, we got the status message is 200, and we got the result as message is I am root. Now, since this is a script, you can return whatever you want. There's no limit. You can query records, you can create new records before you respond to it. Again, that covered, we have covered almost everything that is related to integration. We have covered REST messages, we have covered REST API points. We recently covered authentications, and we have already covered transform maps. That kind of concludes our dev bootcamp on ServiceNow. Uh, as we have stated multiple times during this whole bootcamp, that if you are interested and serious about entering the ServiceNow platform as a developer, as an admin, first thing that you need to do is get yourself a personal developer instance, a PDI instance, and start practicing. Doesn't matter what you do, what you don't do, you make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes. Just keep learning. I have over 8 years experience in this, and even today, I keep learning new things. So there is no end to learning in ServiceNow. So just start learning. Sanjay, I think we can end our session today. We have covered almost everything that we needed to cover.
Okay, I think this was a great series, and both admin and development series are very helpful because I'm getting lots of responses. People are asking different type of questions in the YouTube comments. I see um someone is asking why ServiceNow. People are relating it with Salesforce. So lots of questions are there. So for you guys, like we will plan something. So as I already told you, like we will be having some detailed job readiness programs, and initially we are thinking to do some scholarship based uh, like batch as well, so that you guys can know and we can have our content ready with the help of you, because once we will be doing session, you will be asking lots of questions. So based on that, we will create the repository of the questions the way I created for Salesforce, and we will be creating some projects so that you can practice. So yeah, this is in pipeline. So step by step, we'll be doing that. So our first step was to complete admin and development bootcamp so that we can share enough ServiceNow knowledge with the community. So all thanks to Kunal and for sharing such a wonderful knowledge, and how patiently you covered each and everything, and that too in crisp way. So that is really appreciated.
Thanks, man.
So yep, so this is the last session for this particular series, and we will see if we can do some sessions for YouTube. But for surely, job readiness, we are already working. So stay tuned for more information. I will be sharing on all social media platforms about those. And yep, so thank you so much for joining the session. And Kunal, I saw like today, as compared to the previous sessions, more audience was available live. So I think now people are getting interest in
Finally
service
getting
now.
to it, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so this is it for
Good.
today. Once again, thank you, Kunal,
Thank you,
and
guys.
thank you guys for
Thank you,
joining the
guys. Thank
session.
you for joining. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.